day for a parade, Chris. I'm so glad you suggested we come down and watch.
Yes, it's a beautiful day to begin the season.
Do you want to sit down to watch the long parade?
No, I think I'll stand, or maybe I'll go sit with those children over there.
Well, that's the best place to watch from. You know, it ain't a New York Christmas without Macy's parade, and these children love it.
I think I saw a six-pack over on 32nd Street. You might want to go check it out.
Oh, thanks. I'll get it after the parade.
My dear woman, why do you fish through Darby's? Oh, that's revolting.
Because I find wonderful things in here. Do you know I can get money for this bottle? And every little bit helps. I'm doing my Christmas shopping.
Christmas shopping?
Yes. You would be surprised at the treasures that people throw away.
Huh. I don't have time for that. I send my assistant out to get my Christmas presents. I don't want to spend time pounding through the crowds at Christmas. Oh.
Well, you should be bothered a little. Do you know, my shopping costs a lot less than yours, and it's appreciated just as much. You know, it's the time and thought that you put into it that show your family your love for them. It doesn't matter how you do your Christmas shopping.
I love your spirit. The real Christmas spirit is a real joy.
Well, you know that the department stores make the big bucks at Christmas time. It's how they make up for their losses they have all year.
Christmas is more than big bucks, Doctor. Christmas is the time of year that we devote to pursuing those things we stubbornly avoid the rest of the year. Peace, goodwill, and helping others. What do you want for Christmas, Doctor?
I don't even think Santa Claus can get me what I want.
Try me.
All right, well then. The Maplewood facility needs a new x-ray machine. It could be helpful in so many situations, but it's very expensive.
You shall have it.
Chris, if I get that x-ray machine, I'll know you're really Santa Claus.
It'll be in your stocking on Christmas morning.
Chris, I know we've never spoken about your having to leave Maplewood, but I tried so hard and fought for you, but the board overruled me. They just won't let anyone stay whom they've determined is mentally unsound.
But I passed all those tests, didn't I?
I know you did, and I fought for you. But I just couldn't justify what they consider to be paranoid thinking, even though you're not harmful to yourself or others, to use the psychiatric jargon.
Because I'm Santa Claus.
Because you say you're Santa Claus.
But it happens to be true.
But the board doesn't believe in Santa Claus, so you're out.
What happens next?
Maplewood has an arrangement with the Mount Hope Sanitarium.
Oh, the old rubber room.
No, you know, for a public facility, Mount Hope is really quite comfortable and charming. There's TV and entertainment and lots of... Chris, do you have any money?
Yeah, let's see, I have $53.
Oh, that's not going to get you very far. And you're not a young man. It won't be easy for you to make a living. If you can't support yourself, you'll end up awarded the state and end up at Mount Hope anyway. Why not just avoid the whole disagreeable experience of having to live on the streets?
But there's nothing wrong with me. I'll be hanged if I go to the funny farm.
What choice do you have?
Well, the Central Park zookeeper is a friend of mine. I'll go stay with him. At least he doesn't doubt, the reindeer don't doubt my sanity.
Oh, Chris, please.
Well, Doris, after 5 years, I think we finally have this parade business working out pretty well.
Just as long as Miss Macy's happy.
I think the burning float is deader this year, Mother.
Yes, Susan. We fixed its eyes so they float. That makes them look more alive.
You watch your mother, Susan. Soon you'll be able to handle this parade by the time you're 10.
Would you believe 8?
Merry Christmas!
Allow me. Just a crack in the wrist.
Never works unless you oil it a little bit.
You should be ashamed of yourself. And in front of the children. You're a disgrace to the uniform. Where's your Christmas spirit?
Here.
Oh.
God, keep warm.
Okay, so there's our Santa over there, Doris.
goodness. What are we gonna do now?
How did we manage to get him? Shelley, see if you can get him in the sleigh.
How?
I don't know, get someone to help you shove him and tie him in if you have to.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Mother, I don't think people are gonna like a Santa who's asleep.
He's not his usual twinkling self, that's for sure.
Santa, please wake up. That's not really Santa. He works for my mother at Macy's. If you want to see Santa, they're ringing bells on every street corner. Those aren't real Santas! We want to see Santa himself! I suppose you believe in Easter bunnies too.
Chris, this looks like this could be the good golden opportunity for you to solve both your problems. They appear to need a replacement on the sleigh, and you could share your Christmas spirit and pay the rent all at the same time.
They haven't asked me.
You need to ask them. How can you stand to look at this? These children will be so disappointed if there is no Santa Claus.
Doctor, is that a real Christmas spirit I see, or are you pretending for my sake?
No, I was just thinking about what you said, giving and sharing. Whether or not you're the real Santa Claus, these children could certainly believe that you are.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Pardon me, may I be of assistance?
I don't believe it. It's actually Santa Claus.
My pleasure, ma'am.
It's a gift from Santa Claus, of course. Sir, you see what our problem is here. Would you mind stepping in and playing Santa for us in our parade?
Well, I'm not accustomed to substituting for intoxicated imposters, but the role does fit me perfectly. Which way to the dressing room?
Shelley, get this gentleman suited up for a sleigh.
You bet. Right this way, sir. Oh, and I'll get rid of this.
Hello, Doris.
Oh, hi, Fred. Susan's over talking with the elves. Could you get her and take her somewhere? With all the stuff I've got going on today, I don't have time for the crazy ideas they're going to put in her head.
Don't worry, I overheard the conversation. They were just talking about the North Pole.
Yeah, North Pole. North Pole? That's just what I'm talking about, Fred. I'm glad that the two of you get along so well, Mr. Gailey. And I appreciate all of your help. But we've been neighbors long enough for you to know I have definite ideas about keeping her mind free from illusions. I've told you before, I will not have her believing in fairy tales, Mr. Gailey.
And why not, Mrs. Walker?
All right, Fred. Sorry to be so irritable. But I feel it's important for her to understand reality. As a lawyer, I should think you would support that.
I didn't know you were raising a 7-year-old lawyer.
She's gonna grow up expecting Prince Charming to come along and you and I both know happily ever after doesn't exist.
Are we talking about Susan or about you? Look, Doris, I'm sorry. I know your divorce was painful, but you can't stay bitter about it forever, and not all men will let a woman down. I don't want Susan growing up to think this.
I was devastated, Fred. Thank you for your help, but please, let me be Susan's parent.
Mom, the elves are better this year. Their costumes actually fit.
Don't worry. Nothing will make this kid's mind up for it.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws. Out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys. All for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Oh, up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. First comes the stocking of little Nell. Oh, dear Santa, fill it well. Give her a dolly that laughs and cries, one that will open and shut her eyes. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Oh, up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. Next comes the stocking of little Will. Oh, just see what a glorious fill. Here is a hammer and lots of glue. And it's my responsibility to train the new members of Mason's family of employees.
Kris Kringle.
Oh, really? That's really clever.
It's been the family for generations.
Okay. Now, we are overstocked on these toys over here, so if a child wants something we don't have, you should say, now you may not like this, how would you like this doll over here? Understand?
Why not give the children what they want?
Because it's Christmas. People buy just about anything for their kids when it's Christmas. Besides, you can change kids' minds because they think you're really Santa Claus. So it's a good way to clear out our surplus inventory.
So it's the old economic spirit, eh?
Yes, and a Santa that helps move merchandise gets a little something extra in his Christmas stocking. Now, we mustn't keep the shoppers, the children, waiting.
Hello, Sharon.
How did you know my name?
Because I'm Santa Claus. What would you like for Christmas?
I'm pink bike ribbon on my handlebars.
Well, you've been a very good girl, and I think that can be arranged.
Thanks a lot, Santa. Do I look like I'm made of money? She asked her if there's something else she'd like. Your store wants $125 for a bike like that. I checked.
Can you afford $55.95?
Well, sure.
Consumers Outlet, over on 30th Street.
I can't believe it. Macy's Santa Claus sending me to another store.
It doesn't matter whether it's Macy's or Consumers. The important thing is to make the children happy.
This is wonderful. That's really good of you.
Hello, little girl. What would you like for Christmas?
I want a real beauty powder set. The kind with the shiny red lipstick and the glittery eyeshadow. And I promise not to test it on the cat.
What you said about the Barbie car last year.
I do, but I really promise this time.
Okay, I accept your promise. But remember now,
Why did you tell her that? I've looked all over town and everyone is sold out.
Bloomingdale's just got a new shipment in. 4th floor, 2nd aisle from the right. 1850, a marvelous bargain.
Thank you for shopping at Macy's.
Well, to tell you the truth, we're on our way over to Bloomingdale's. Your Santa recommended it. Oh, and wouldn't you know, it's just such the Christmas spirit. He told me exactly where I could get what my little girl wants.
Oh. What will Miss Macy think about that? Santa Claus!
This child has only recently arrived from the orphanage in Holland. She doesn't speak English yet, but she wanted to see you badly. She insists that Santa Claus can speak Dutch. I hope you can pretend with her.
Santa Claus, ik wil een pap. Ik wil een bezoek van Goedmoeder. Ik mis de bezaan van het vaderland.
I'm sorry, I can't translate for you. I don't speak Dutch well enough. I think she wants...
A doll and a visit with her grandmother in Holland. No problem. It en ont ik van grootmoeder.
Ja, ja.
Guten King winkelesse on a bakfest van Steven. Op de snoei lag witten, diep en west en even. How are you?
Mad.
Tell me about it.
Me and my sister got into a fight. She told me the phone would grow into my ear if I didn't get off of it.
Kids like to tease each other. Next time someone teases you, they're probably unhappy. You'll see. It'll get better. Now, what do you want for Christmas?
Telephone.
It's gonna get better right away.
All right, Susan, it's your turn.
Do I have to?
Try it out anyways, for the sake of Macy's.
You know, of course, that this is ridiculous.
Why don't you believe in Santa, Susan?
How did you know that?
I know a lot of things. What would you like for Christmas?
Nothing. Whatever I want, my mother will get to me, provided it isn't too expensive. I know you're just a person my mother hired for the first Santa Claus, but I must admit, you're a little better than most. I can't even see the stuff floating on your beard. It looks real.
Well, it is real, and I'm real too.
Well, it was nice talking to you anyways, but I don't think you ought to pretend to all these children that you will bring them what they want.
Well, maybe they will get what they want, and maybe you will too.
I'm sorry. She's a tough sell. Thanks for trying anyways.
My pleasure, and thank you for bringing her to me. I do enjoy working on the tough cases.
It's so sad to see so much cynicism in a little girl like Susan.
What she needs is an infusion of imagination. And you and I can work on it together.
Mother, something funny happened. There was a Dutch girl of mine who couldn't speak English, and the Santa spoke to her in Dutch. They sang a song together.
Susan, lots of people speak foreign languages. I speak French, but that doesn't make me Joan of Arc. He's just a man I hired this morning. And even if Santa Claus were real, I doubt he'd be working at Macy's. Now you stand right there while I speak to Fred a minute. Fred, could you step this way, please? I received Santa's employment record this morning. Perhaps you'd like to read it?
Name, Chris Kringle. Age, as young as my tongue, but a bit older than my teeth. Birthplace, North Pole. Next of kin, Donner, Dancer, Prancer, Dasher, Blitzen, Comet.
Does that convince you? I think you better take Susan home now if you don't mind. Apparently, I have a job to do.
He just seems like a little nice old man to me. All right, I stand corrected. Come on, Susan, your mother has Christmas to manage.
Doris? This new Santa is completely unacceptable. He's refusing to push our backlog merchandise, and you're not going to believe this. He's sending our customers to other stores to buy toys. I'm not kidding. You have to do something.
What a coincidence. I was on my way to do just that. Mr. Crinkle, we've had a busy day, haven't we? Was it difficult for you?
Well, getting accustomed to new surroundings is sometimes difficult, but I have enjoyed the children.
Well, perhaps you've been trying a little too hard.
What do you mean, Mrs. Walker?
It seems you haven't been following the Shellhammer's instructions.
Oh, you mean about the surplus toys? Yeah. I decided not to do that.
Oh, you did!
Yes, it's dishonest. Why should children pay for Macy's mistakes?
That's not your decision to make. Speaking of dishonesty, how do you explain the information on this form?
It's not dishonest.
But the information you put on this form, Mr. Kringle, we're not playing games at Macy's. We take our job seriously. If you want a paycheck, you have to put proper information on your personnel card.
Well, see, it happens to be true. I signed it right down here on the bottom.
So you actually think you're Santa Claus?
Certainly not.
Well, that's a relief.
I know it for a fact.
You are welcome to whatever delusions you choose to live with. But we can't have a Santa Claus who refers our customers to other stores. You can pick up your final paycheck at the personnel department. I'm sorry it didn't work out.
I find it ironic, Mrs. Walker, that you're firing Santa Claus for being Santa Claus. I was just trying to give the children what they want.
Macy's is a business, Mr. Kringle. We have to compete with other stores. All right, I don't want to argue with you. I'll authorize a week's severance pay for you. Now, thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker, and I promise you, I won't hold this against you on Christmas Eve.
Doris, Miss Macy would like to...
I'm perfectly capable of speaking for myself, Miss Shellhammer.
Is there a problem, Miss Macy?
I will listen with great interest as you tell me who is responsible for Santa sending customers to other stores.
I take full responsibility, Miss
I
Macy.
instructed him to push the backlog merchandise, but he
Well,
would...
then, who told him to send somebody to Bloomingdale's for something we didn't have?
We don't know, ma'am.
Do you know my office has been flooded with phone calls, faxes,
I'm
and letters?
so sorry, but I've taken care of it.
All grateful appreciation from the shoppers. This is the greatest goodwill gimmick in years. Positively revolutionary. I can see the headlines now. Store with real Christmas spirit, Macy's Santa recommends Bloomingdale's. It is a breakthrough in advertising initiatives. This one. The media will love it, and Macy's will reap harvests of publicity and good news.
I'm so glad you're pleased.
The greatest sale we ever had. And you know what? There'll be some bonuses in those stocking reserves.
It must not be Tuesday after all. I'm still asleep and dreaming.
It's Armageddon.
Huh?
I just fired him.
You what?
He's crazy. You should see his personnel form. He actually thinks he's Santa Claus.
Evidently, so does Miss Macy.
I don't know what we're going to do now.
Do you think she's gonna fire us?
Maybe it's not too late. Sylvia, have the operator page Kris Kringle.
Kris Kringle to the toy department. Kris Kringle to the toy department.
Miss Walker, where's Santa? The line is stretching all the way to the ladies'
We're
sportswear.
almost out of candy canes. She fired him.
She fired him in the middle of the Christmas rush? What about the children?
Mrs. Walker, as the shop steward of Elves Local Number 10, I must lodge a formal grievance against management's capricious disrespect of the Christmas spirit.
All right, we're trying to resolve the matter now.
Santa Claus goes, we walk.
Oh, good grief. All I need is striking elves.
No reason to page me, Mrs. Walker. I would have brought the suit back.
Put it back on.
It seems I owe you an apology, Mr. Kringle. Perhaps I was a bit hasty.
Oh?
It seems I was wrong about your policy of sending customers to other stores. As a matter of fact, Miss Macy likes it.
That's not reason enough, Mrs. Walker. Why should I come back to increase Macy's profits? Pushing toys is not what Christmas is all about. We're so busy trying to make things faster and shinier that we lose the spirit of giving from our heart. I see no reason why I should contribute to that kind of commercialism.
So, you won't come back?
The union stands solidly behind you, Mr. Kringle.
Here we are in the middle of the Christmas rush, and I lose the one Santa that works the miracle, all because I didn't understand how miracles work. It's really more than a matter of profit, Mr. Kringle. Can't you see that Macy's needs you? That I need you? And the children. Please?
Not to mention saving 2 wage slaves from being fired.
Well,
What if we promise not to make you push the backstop? Just be the Santa you want to be. Just be yourself.
that I can do.
Yes!
A masterful stroke, Mrs. Walker. Right this way.
You wanted to see me, Mrs. Walker?
Oh, yes. Miss Sawyer. As our vocational guidance counselor, I have a particular situation I was hoping you could help with. You see, we have a wonderful new Santa Claus in the toy department this year.
That's very admirable, Mrs. Walker.
Not exactly. You see, this man is practically perfect in every way, even the natural white beards. Only, he actually thinks he's Santa Claus.
Interesting.
I was hoping you could help the old fella out of it.
Oh, so you mean he maintains his character persona outside of the work environment? Oh dear, sounds like a classic case out of the abnormal psychology textbook. What other symptoms does he have?
None that I know of.
Oh, a persistent delusion. Very bad sign, very bad. Cases like this happen because their emotional needs are not fulfilled in childhood. So the subject grows up and personifies affection and gift-giving. What is the subject's name?
Kris Kringle?
You've got to be kidding me.
I wish that I were, but please don't alarm him. He's a very valuable employee right now.
So what do you want me to do?
Just stop by and observe him. Maybe arrange an interview, but keep it casual.
Leave it to me, Mrs. Walker. He'll never suspect that I suspect.
Well, hi there. How are you doing today? See something you like? Lots of new toys in today. Excuse me. Hang on. Where are you going? You gotta pick that up.
Oh, hi, is that the puzzle? That puzzle there? That's my puzzle, isn't it?
Boring.
Hey.
Are you Mrs. Walker?
Yes, may I help you?
Dr. Pierce, resident physician at the neighborhood home where Kris Kringle used to live.
Oh, really? I think I'd like to talk to you.
I heard that you hired Kris as Macy Santa this year. I want to thank you for giving him a chance.
Who is he really, Dr. Pierce?
That's That's a really good question. One that I've been thinking about for a while. Chris insists that he's the real Kris Kringle, and if there really is a Santa Claus, he certainly fits the part.
You don't actually think that he's Santa Claus, do you?
No, I didn't say that. I just meant from a purely philosophical point of view, he could be Santa Claus.
Well, do you think he's Santa Claus? Philosophically speaking, of course.
That's like one of those ideas that goes around and around in your head. Like, is snow white? Or is red red? Or when a tree falls in the forest, does it really make a sound?
Of course it does.
But does it? When you're standing there, the sound bounces off your eardrums, but if there are no eardrums in the vicinity, could it still make a sound?
I've heard that argument before, but it can never be proven.
Or disproven. People all over the world believed in Santa Claus, otherwise he might not exist. Truth of the matter is, kids believe in them all over, right? And Chris, he believes that he's Santa Claus.
He surely does.
I think if it's a case of, I think, therefore I am.
You're still speaking philosophically, I assume?
It's so much easier when you think philosophically and when you spend more time in the world, it's just better off. It's easier to understand things that way.
Unfortunately, we in the retail business have to think realistically.
I understand, but Chris is positively harmless. There are cases like his all over the United States, thousands of them with similar delusions, and they just...
I'm glad you said delusions.
As I said, I've known Chris for years, and he's perfectly harmless. His delusions are a positive one. He just wants to share happiness and the real spirit of Christmas with everyone. I just worry about him sometimes.
Why?
Chris is an old man, and I can't stand the thought of him walking the streets of New York alone late at night with no home to come home to. I mean, if someone could keep an eye on him after the store closes.
You mean he doesn't have a place to live?
He can't stay at Maplewood anymore. They've discharged him.
I'll see what I can do, Dr. Kim. I appreciate your insights. I feel a lot more at ease after this conversation.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. I know you won't regret having Chris on your staff. And have a Merry Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one horse open sleigh. In the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride in one oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
What are you doing?
Singing.
Get back to work.
That's Christmas spirit.
Mr. Kringle, is it?
That's one of the names I'm called.
Alberta Sawyer, Macy's Vocational Guidance Counselor.
How do you do?
That remains to be seen. Before the customers get here, Mr. Kringle, I'd like to get to know you better. As a new employee, store policy insists that I ask you some questions. How are you enjoying your work here so far?
Well, I'd hardly call it work. I do this kind of thing for free normally.
So you mean you promise gifts to children at Christmas time?
I do my best.
Oh, precisely how do you plan on fulfilling those gifts, Mr. Kringle?
Santa Claus has a lot of influence.
Huh. I see. And I suppose you fly back to the North Pole at night and manufacture those gifts yourself?
Actually, I live with my reindeer.
Excuse me?
I take care of the reindeer at Central Park Zoo.
Well, all right. Let's move on. Let me tell you, what's 3 times 5, Mr. Kringle?
Don't you know?
I want you to tell me.
Well, it's 15, of course.
Nice, good. Thank you. Stand up. I want you to
Touch my nose with alternating fingers like this. I know this one, too. Any others I missed?
Who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington. And do you know who the first vice president under Grover Cleveland was?
I don't have any idea, Mr. Kringle. I'm the one conducting this interview, if you don't mind now. Are you married?
Is that a proposal?
How many fingers am I holding up?
3. My, you bite your nails. Do these interviews make you nervous, Miss Sawyer?
That's none of your business, Noah. What's 3 times 5?
15, the same as what you asked me last time. Do you know unconscious repetition is a sign of overwork and stress? Are you getting enough rest, Miss Sawyer?
That'll be all, Mr. Kringle.
I can talk to Miss Macy about getting you a 2-week vacation. Let me see what I can do.
That man definitely has a persistent psychosis, persistent delusions for sure.
Who?
That Santa, that Kris Kringle.
Oh, Sawyer. His doctor was here, and she assured me that he's perfectly harmless.
Perfectly harmless? Cases like this become violent when their delusions are challenged. I assure you that if you allow that man to stay on this staff, I will take no responsibility for the consequences.
That's all right. I'll take full responsibility, Miss Sawyer.
Well, as Macy's psychologist, I should think my opinion would be respected. I warn you, Mrs. Walker, if he becomes violent and he hurts anyone, oh, I'll be the first to tell you, I told you so.
Good heavens, what was that all about?
Sawyer conducted a psychological evaluation of our Santa Claus, and apparently she didn't get anywhere. Her opinion is that Chris could become violent.
Oh. That would be a disaster.
But I also had an interview with Dr. Pierce from Maplewood Home, where Chris used to live, and she assured me that Chris is perfectly harmless, that his delusion is a positive one.
Oh. You believe the doctor?
Well, she's known Chris a long time. Sawyer only talked to him for 10 minutes.
Why did the doctor seek you out?
She seems rather protective of Chris. She's glad that he's got a job working at Santa Claus, but she's worried about him after the store closes. She wants me to keep an eye on him.
Oh, I think that's a splendid idea. And you're just the person to do it.
No. Wait. No, wait. What are you suggesting? Not me. My hands are full with Susan, and at night, I need to unwind.
Well, maybe I can help out. Do you have a spare room? Chris can stay with us.
You're a jewel, Shelley. I was hoping I could count on you.
Not so fast. I have to talk it over with my husband first. It's his house, too. I'll tell you what. You have Chris over for dinner tonight, and that'll give me enough time to convince Arthur that as part of our Christmas spirit, we'll have this nice old man as a temporary house guest. I'll just leave out the fact that he thinks he's Santa Claus.
What'll Arthur say when he's introduced to Kris Kringle?
Oh. I'll have to think of a way around that one.
All right, Shelley. I'll talk to you later.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him, as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
I enjoyed our dinner very much. Thank you for inviting me. The milk and cookies was an especially nice touch. And I enjoyed visiting with you and Susan.
Mr. Kringle, could you speak to me in the language you spoke at the store the other day?
Susan, I think Mr. Kringle is tired.
Oh, I'd love to talk to Susan. Come here.
Excuse me, I have to call Michelle Hammer.
Do you have a lot of friends in the building, Susan?
Yes, but I don't see them very much. The games they play are so childish. Today they're being animals, and they asked me what kind of animal I want to be. But I don't want to be an animal. It's so dumb.
Why don't you tell me you want to be a lion or a bear?
Because I know the line, I'm a girl.
Well, they're not animals either. They're pretending.
That's what makes the game so good.
Susan, do you know what imagination is?
That's when you see things that aren't really there.
Well, it's more than that. Imagination is a place you can go to. It's a wonderful country. You know nations like England, Japan, and Russia? Well, imagination is a lot like that, but the wonderful thing is, in that country, you can do anything you want.
Not anything.
For example, how would you like to go to Mars in the morning and be back by dinner time?
Oh, that would be possible.
Or be the Statue of Liberty in the morning and fly with a flock of geese in the afternoon? It's simple. You want to give it a try?
Well, I guess I could try.
Okay, let's start with something easy. Let's pretend you're a bird flying in the sky.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Sure you would. Stand up. Now, flap your arms like they're wings. Tilt, and tilt sideways while keep flapping your wings. There you go. Now you're soaring like a bird.
I did it, Mr. Crinkle. That was fun.
So, Susan, if you were to believe that I was Santa, what would you want for me to bring you for Christmas?
Can you bring big presents?
Well, since this is the land of imagination, it could be any size.
I want a real house for Mother and me, and a real father to live in it.
Oh, that's a very tall order indeed.